For tonight?
I'm rooting for everybody black. I am betting on black tonight.
Lovely. You look great.
Welcome to Code Black Facts, where we talk about all things black to include news and viral videos, mental health, self-love, self-care, self-development, black women issues, crime stories, and black history. If you are interested in any of these topics, please subscribe to my channel, like, share, and don't forget to comment below. Thank you.
They say it's a black thing, run deep in the roots. Blacker the berry, baby, the sweeter the juice.
Many women say that they are in their soft era and they're living these soft lifestyles, and it's become this aesthetic that I just cannot relate to, and I wish that I could and I want to, but I literally can't. I feel like life has always been hard, and as a result I built a hard exterior. So now thinking about finding an environment where I can be vulnerable and be softer, it just seems unattainable. Cause I ain't never been no soft ass bitch, and no shade, because where do I sign up? It just feels like it's never been an option. This is just how I've come to be.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to Code Black Facts. Thank you guys for tuning in. I truly appreciate you and your support. Please continue to support by liking the video and commenting below. Also, if you are interested in any of my all things black commentary, feel free to subscribe to the channel. So I wanted to talk about this particular topic as she addressed in her video. And by the way, I do have to say this woman is absolutely beautiful. She's so pretty to me. But I think that this topic is an important topic to talk about as it relates to black women, because and black men too, but more so black women, because there are a lot of black women that feel the way that she does. And when she talks about the environment, she hasn't found an environment for her to be soft or feminine in. I totally get that, because in order to be, vulnerable, in order to be nurturing, loving, warm, caring, showing empathy and humility and, being kind and helpful and supportive and all of those things that encompass being feminine and soft, in order to you know, be those things and have those things, the environment has to be there. Now, let me make this disclaimer. I am not saying in no shape, form, or way that black women cannot be feminine. We can. Many of us are feminine, okay, to include myself. I am also not saying that because of certain, uh, things that we've been through, that it's impossible for black women to be soft and feminine. I'm not saying that at all. Not at all. There are many of us who are. There are many of us who grow up in homes where that is taught to us. But guess what? There are also many of us who feel just like she feels. There are also many black women who don't feel like they can be soft and feminine because of what they've been through, what they've had to struggle through. And a lot of times when we talk about struggle as it relates to black women, it's always struggle as that has to do something with a man. I'm talking about from the time you're born into this world. It is, no everybody knows that black children are at the highest risk for so many things. Abuse, being miseducated, being misdiagnosed, being kicked out of school, being fined. I mean, black children are at a high risk for those things because of those stereotypes, because there is a system that has been set up where, black people in general are disenfranchised, in general mistreated, right? Everybody knows this. So again, this a lot of times it doesn't have something to do with a man, right? When we talk about struggling. But if we must, let's get into that. Let's include the man. Yeah. Black women as a group of women there is a bunch of struggles with the black men. It is. If it's not the struggle of having to help the black man, you know, as it relates to, you know, racism and white supremacy, if it's not that struggle, then it's the struggle of relationships with black men. It's the struggle of, you know, single parent homes. It's the struggle of, I mean, it's so many other struggles. And I think that we really got to stop, like, well, I'm not going to say stop, but put things into context. I'll say that because I do think that all of those conversations need to be had as it relates to black men and women, but we really need to put those things into context and really bring forth true, you know, facts to back those things up, because I think a lot of time there's a lot of gaslighting. But you know, going back to what I previously said, as it relates to black women, like there are many black women who, you know, black women, as I know, for as being a black woman myself, in order for me to open up to where I can be vulnerable and soft, I have to feel like I'm safe. And I also have to feel like I'm protected. I have to feel like, okay, if I open up and I show my softer side, that is not going to be used against me. Because in many times it is. And as black women, when we leave our home, we are met with hostility a lot of times. And that hostility can come from all different types of fronts. It can come from the Karen that we run into at the restaurant or at the store. It can come from a teacher. It can come from a professor. It could come from someone that we work with on the job. It could come from a teacher parent conference. It's just a constant hostility because of those stereotypes that are out there that has been pushed relentlessly as it relates to black women. And it's just constant. Not to mention the racism, not to mention the colorism, not to mention the sexism, not to mention the futurism and the whatever isms that we're met with on a constant basis all the time, right? So when you have that constantly going, what do you think the person is going to do? Are they going to build up certain protection mechanisms? And this is the thing, it kills me because a lot of times when we talk about black women being soft and feminine, it's almost like they think that it's a switch that can be turned on and off, and it just doesn't work that way. You know, you can't snap your fingers and then boom, a woman feels like she can be vulnerable, she can open up, she can be, you know, be soft and feminine. It doesn't happen like that. It's the environment that has to be created. And if environment cannot even be created to protect children or for black men to even protect themselves because they're getting killed every other week, if that can't even be created, then how can anyone possibly think that a black woman can feel safe, can feel protected, can feel like she can open up and be soft and and show humility and empathy and warmth? And can black women do that? Absolutely. I do it all the time. But that's only because I am aware of my boundaries. I'm aware of when I can do that. I'm aware of some of those safe places, and that brings me to the question, like, where are those places? Where are they? Do black women have to leave the black community to be feminine? Do we? Because where are they? And I'm not saying, I'm talking about generally, where are they? I'm not talking about, you know, the small amount of black women who say that they're married and that they're protected, because that's questionable. That's questionable. And the only reason why I say it's questionable is because you got a lot of black women out here faking it. They're faking it. They are in marriages that they are very unhappy in. I mean, I'm not gonna even get into that, because you got a lot of black women out here who are desperate and they just jumped in anything. And it doesn't matter if that anything was a black man, a non-black man, whatever. But no one's being fooled. You can't tell me that you're feminine, and then when I see you in these social media streets, you doing everything but. No, it don't work like that. I'm sorry, it just don't. You can't convince me that it just don't work like that. So that's all I'm gonna say. But where are these places? Because a lot of times when that's brought up, it's like it's almost like, oh well, you have to be married to be protected, and it shouldn't even. What sense does that make? That doesn't make any sense. It makes no sense because if that's the case, then you're literally telling Black women to marry outside of their race. That's what you're saying. Because statistically, Black men and women, we're getting married, but we are not getting married like that. Okay? So it's just like, okay, where are these places? Where? Where are they? Where are they? Where are the spaces where Black women can feel like they can be soft and feminine? And I'm not saying, you know, when your boyfriend come over at night. I'm not saying when your boyfriend take you to the movies. I'm not saying none of that. And to be quite honest with you guys, that's a small population. Black women were put in the crossfire of a lot of times we're having to fight not just for us but for the Black man, be on the front lines for the Black man, help the Black man with his struggle of racism and being shot up every other week. We're in this constant, you know, helping and struggling, and it's just constant. It's constant. And that's why I do have a lot of respect for those men who are married who, really truly know what it means to have your woman um not be out there, getting her head bashed in, getting her eyeballs blown out, getting choked up by the police. I just can't respect any man that has sent his woman out there for that to be done. To me, that now it's one thing if she go out there on her own, but if you telling me you married and your man didn't sent you out there, I can't. I just can't. I'm sorry, I can't. I can't. I can't. I just can't. I can't. I can't. Now, I guess it's one thing if he can protect you, but from what I'm seeing, bad things happen. Bad things happen. Because when you get your eyeball blown out, like the lady who that actually happened to, nobody went to to revenge her. Nobody. She was out there at a I can't think of the Black man, George Floyd's protest, and got her eyeball blown off. And you know what they did? It was a bunch of non-Black people that was standing around. They scooped her up and put her in the car and took her to the hospital. Nobody avenged what happened to her. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. So, my last point too is that a lot of times when we talk about Black women and the struggles that we go through, I feel like it's only understood. People only understand it when it's in the concept of like Black men. Like if you say, "Oh, well, it's hard out here for a Black man," from one Black man to the next, they will understand what that means. But it's almost like because I've seen this myself, and I've had this happen to me where it's like, "Oh man, it's hard for Black women," and I'm met with, "Oh well, it's harder for Black men." Well, and it's like, dude, we're not in competition. Let's say it's harder for you. Let's just say that. Then guess what? Guess who's next in line? Us, the Black woman, fool. Us. No other group of women get it like we get it. No other group of women have it like we have it. None. So if you want to be on this, who has it the worst and the most and all of that nonsense, you can stay there. That's chicken brain babble. Who cares? The fact of the matter is, your woman and your children is also getting it just as hard. That's the fact of the matter. I just don't get men who respond like that. To me, it's something sugary going on. I don't get it. It's like if I say that I am, that black women have struggles and stuff like that and hard times, and then the response to me is, oh, well, black men have it harder. It's like, fool, what's wrong with you? This is not a competition. And that's another thing. It's like it's the struggle is only understood when you put it in the context of talking about black men. But when you put it in the context of talking about black women, it's almost like you're going to get gaslit because people are going to be like, oh, well, black men have it harder. Oh, well, all you got to do is be this and be that. And it's like, dude, no, that's not true. It's not true. It's not true. Because guess what? When we was on those plantations with the black man and we were just as feminine as the black man, just uh um as dominated as the black man, we were still treated like shit. It just makes no sense when people do that. And it upsets me, as you guys can probably tell. But moving on. Black men, they need to understand. Black men go and they fight for respect. They fight to be taken serious. They fight for their masculinity. They fight to be appreciated and valued. And when that is not happening and they come home or come back to the neighborhoods that they're from, guess who's going to get the brunt of not being being disrespected, not being taken serious, can't get no job, can't, get whatever it is that they're trying to get. Guess who's going to be met with the brunt of that? The people that are in close proximity. That's how that happens. That's how that happens. So when you see men out here and they're overly like, I'm a alpha, I'm a man, it's like, dude, if you are a man and you don't have to say that. Like, that's known. When you walk in a room, that essence is going to walk in with you if it's there. If it's not there, then it won't. And growing up, I never, not one time, heard men running around talking about how masculine, how alpha that they were. Like, I never heard that. Not once. Not once. And I have a lot of brothers. A lot. I have more than brothers I can count on one hand. A lot. Not one of them say that mess. Not one. My father never said it. No, it's only this day and time you hear that a lot. I'm an alpha. I'm a man. I'm a man. It's just weird. It's so weird. So when I hear that, that lets me know that they go outside of the house. They're not respected. They're not valued. Nobody cares about them. So when they come back, they have to make sure that they get what they can't get out there. That's how that happens. And I'm gonna flip it. As black women, it's the same thing. I gotta flip it on us as well because a lot of times we go outside the house. There's all things going on. We frustrated. We come home, and that same frustration comes with us. So now, what do you have? You have two people who can't, and you again, you have people who get together and they're able to make that work. But this day and time in 2022, we see a divide going on. We see fussing and fighting and bickering going on. And to be quite honest, I don't like it. I'm tired of it. Um, but I get it. I get it. I get it. Um, the last thing that I wanted to say is that when you do see Black men who are not fighting for those things, right? A lot of times they're just going with the flow. They are, they are accepted because usually these men, you'll see them acting silly or goofy. They're always having to crack jokes and be funny. That's the only way that they can take them. They can't take the Black man that's, you know, aggressive, not aggressive in a negative way, but like, confident. He has to be, goofy, silly, joking. Nobody really takes him serious, but it's because he's fun. That's the only way he can be taken serious. And I think that does something to the psyche. Matter of fact, I know it does something to the psyche when you're not even allowed to be your authentic self, that you have to put a show on every time you leave and go to work, or you are invited into certain groups or whatever. That's got to be miserable. It's got to be. But on that note, you guys, that's all I have. Let me know what you guys think about this particular topic. Let me know what you agree or disagree on. And I may have left out some things, but if so, just put them down in the comment section and let's have a conversation. All right. See you guys later. Thank you for tuning in. And until next time, peace.
Say it's a black thing when deep in the roots. Blacker the berry, baby, the sweeter the juice. I'm trying to get lost, covered in all of your sauce. They say black don't crack, well baby, you living proof. This for